Welcome back to my channel, guys. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in to my little corner of YouTube. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys kind of like a rough what I've been loving lately, because there's some things that I really enjoy, and I feel like a lot of the times I just share hauls in here and then I don't get to really touch back on things that I'm like really enjoying right now. So I want to share with you some other stuff that I like that I've been using. Some of these things may be new to you, they might not be. If you've been following along for a while now, you'll know that I have been big fans of these. But let's just jump right in. I'm gonna start off with some beauty stuff because I have a lot at the moment that I'm really enjoying. First off, I would really like to say this Biossance mask has been chef's kiss for my skin. I'm currently using retinols and I haven't been using it for almost 2 years. I got off of it when I was pregnant and breastfeeding. So now that I'm using them again, my skin is definitely going through that weird like purging stage and I'm breaking out quite a bit. Hello Kobe, you want to join us? And I've just been like really having to deal with my skin in different ways, such as using exfoliating facial masks. This Biossance one is a Squalane and Glycolic Renewal mask. It just like really helps to resurface my skin. I put it on for about like 15-20 minutes in the morning when I'm done washing my face and in between getting Harrison's breakfast ready, and then after while he's eating I take it off, and I just feel like it helps to loosen up the top layer of my skin and to make it really fresh. Do you want a face mask too? Is that why you're here? This is a great one. You really don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. I squeeze out like the smallest size, like a pea size on my finger, and that's enough to cover like one whole cheek. So I do like one here, and one on my forehead, and then spot treat any other areas with whatever is left over on my fingers. But this has been phenomenal. I've been using it for quite a while now and I don't feel like I've really made a dent in this. Who knows if I'll ever do an empties at some point, because this is lasting me a really long time. Next up is the retinol that I was talking to you guys about. This is the Dermalogica Dynamic Skin Retinol Serum. This is a 3.5% retinoid complex with squalane. Everyone apparently like really enjoys squalane right now. I started using this about, it's been maybe like a month now. I was introduced to it by Dermalogica. This is a brand new product that they just launched. I was invited to a dinner. We learned a little bit about it there, and this is one that is actually safe enough to use a little bit like during the day in your skin. It's not a really strong one. It is going to make you photosensitive, so you do have to wear sunscreen with this, as with any retinols, and you should just be wearing sunscreen on a day-to-day basis anyways. It's good for your skin. This one is great because it has a slow release function, so it's just not all like bam at your face at once. It slowly kind of releases throughout the day, and because it has squalane on it, it's fairly gentle on your skin. So I've actually noticed a fairly significant change to my skin that I'm glad about, because when I stopped using retinols 2 years ago, my skin went from baby smooth to like textured, and not in like a bad way, but you could see a lot of my pores and like the pivots and like the dips in my skin. And then as soon as I started using this, I kid you not, within like maybe about a week and a half to 2 weeks at most, my skin started feeling really smooth again. It's like almost feels like it's like glass. I don't know how to explain it. And you don't see the pores as frequently. So I think it's because I went off of retinol that you were able to see my pores again. But I do need to preface that your skin will probably go through that weird purging stage that a lot of people experience when they start to use retinols again. And my skin's definitely doing that. Like every day I'm getting like a couple new pimples here and there popping up on my skin. And I know they're not hormonal because they've been around for about like a week and a half to 2 weeks now. And usually my hormonal acne lasts about like 4 weeks at its worst, and it gets better within a week. But the crazy thing with this is that even though I'm getting flare-ups after applying this, literally the next morning I see the pimples like dry up. So it's kind of traumatizing because you wake up with a new pimple and then you go about your day and then you go home at night, put this on, and then the next morning that pimple is dried up and it's been replaced with a pimple in another spot. It's annoying, but at least I know it's working and I have been loving it so far. I'm very excited to be back on retinols, and I will be sharing a full comprehensive empties review after this once I'm done using this bottle. This is another great spot treatment product that I was using before I went back to using retinols, and I only use this during the day just because I don't like to overload my skin and make it too sensitive. This is the La Roche-Posay Effaclar Duo Global Action Acne Treatment. So I only use this as a spot treatment. You can put a really light layer across your whole face, but this stuff like truly works, and I feel like if I put this on everything, it makes my skin really red. It's a very strong product, so I just spot treat. If there's a night where like I'm feeling really tired and I don't have time to do my whole makeup routine and I decide to skip on the retinol, then I'll dab this on certain spots before I go to sleep, or first thing in the morning I'll wake up and I'll apply this to little certain spots if I'm not going out somewhere and I'm just doing skincare for the day. This stuff really helps to turn my acne around within like 24 hours too. So this paired together with my retinol, it's like a power dynamic duo. I don't know what I was doing before I started using these. Also, where was this stuff in high school and university when I had like crazy breakouts? I could have used this stuff. But if you have acne, you should definitely try this out. It's great for spot treatments, and I find that it just helps to like really dry up my pimples and make them go away within like 24 to 48 hours, and it's almost as if it was never on my skin. It's wild. This is another Biossance product that I just started using recently. I don't think it's new. It's probably been around for a little while. This is the Squalane and Rose Vegan Lip Balm. I'm a huge sucker for the Bite Beauty lip mask, but Bite has been essentially discontinued and I didn't want to like continuously use that product and fall in love with it way too much because I already am in love with it. So I've been playing around with some new options and this one is actually really great. It's from Biossance. I've used a couple of other lip products leading up to this that I didn't quite like. They actually either didn't last long enough on my lips or coated them and made them feel really weird. This is like a super lightweight formula that soaks into your lips and does truly make it feel a little bit more plump and hydrated and moisturized. There's no taste and there's no smell, which is the most important part. It does say rose on here, but I honestly don't notice any sort of fragrance or flavor, so that's something I want to make known if you are turned off by the possibility of it smelling or tasting like rose. It doesn't get all over your face, it kind of like stays on the lips and it's not too sticky either. It's like a very light coating that goes on it and it lasts me like the whole night. I typically apply this on my lips before I go to bed at night and then when I wake up in the morning I still feel a little bit of it. It's not that it's leaving like a film, but the staying power is good. If you're to use this during the day and you're eating and drinking, you'd probably have to reapply it, but I just like how lightweight the packaging is. There's no glass. It is all plastic. That is something I want to say, but it's easy for me to just like chuck into my purse and not worry about it being like overly heavy. Been loving this one, using it a lot. It is fairly new, so I haven't made like a huge dent into it, but I've just been enjoying it and I want to share with you guys. Okay, this is something else that I know a lot of people are gonna be like, this is absurd that this is your favorite, but it is the Chanel Le Lift hand cream. So I'm a bit of a hand cream snob. I've always had really dry hands and I've gone through like a plethora of hand creams and I've tried them all essentially. I've used the Body Shop ones, like the really small thin formula ones that are kind of like milky. Those ones are nice, but I find that it's too wet. It takes forever to absorb into my skin and it just doesn't hydrate my skin enough. It just feels like I just ran my hands underwater, but they're nice and they smell good and it's easy to keep in your purse because they're small. It's not the best size. It is quite heavy. I'll give it that. I've also tried the hemp hand cream, which is a lot thicker. I prefer to exclusively use that at night since it is such like a thick balm. It does leave quite the oily residue in your hands too and has a very strong hemp scent, which I don't love. Hence why I use it at nighttime. It's also great. Pro tip, put on your feet and put on socks. It'll smooth and soften all the skin on your feet overnight. I love the Lossy Tan ones with the shea butter, but again, really oily, leaves like a really like filmy residue on my fingers and I can't use my hands right away. Especially now that we're in the age of like touchscreen everything. I want to be able to touch my iPad, my computer, my phone, my camera, and it's just, it leaves stuff everywhere, so I don't like that. I've tried a couple of other ones too, and I've narrowed it down to this specific one from Chanel. I haven't tried the other ones, but I would have to say that this one is great. First of all, let me just say this is expensive. I think it's like almost $75–80. I would no way tell anybody they need to go out and purchase this, but if you're also a hand cream snob like me, I'm gonna walk you through why this is worth every dollar. At least for me. So first of all, I've had this for almost 2 years now. I have yet to run out, but I have been using this very sparingly because I knew it was expensive and I didn't want to completely use it all up and then have to go out and run and buy a different one. I'm using it a lot more now just because I have kind of settled with the fact that it is a great hand cream and I love it. There's no point slowly using it out and letting the product inside expire and go bad, so you might as well just use it now. What I love about it is the fact that the formulation is very lightweight. It is extremely hydrating and moisturizing on the skin, although I do think they pack it a little bit with silicone because it leaves your skin feeling really smooth afterwards. I also really like the fact that it absorbs extremely quickly, so if I'm on the go and I need to be doing something and holding things, I can just rub it in and it'll be in within like under 10 seconds or so. It doesn't leave my skin feeling sticky or oily at all, which is very important to me. And there is a fairly like moderate, medium to moderate scent when it comes to this hand cream, but it does fade quite quickly. And at least for me, it's a floral kind of sweet fragrance, so I like it. For anybody else who is sensitive to fragrances, you may not enjoy this, but it's not a strong one that lingers either, so you don't need to worry about it smelling all day long, similar to how the Body Shop hemp hand cream is. That one like really lingers for a long time and has a very herbal scent, and I don't like it, so that truly bothers me, which is why I've had a hard time finishing that one. But this one's great in the sense that it absorbs fast, it's very lightweight, and it truly does leave your hands feeling very soft and moisturized. Now, my only gripe with this, well, beyond the price, okay, so now there's two things. So there's the price, number one, and then also the size. It is a very chunky packaging for a hand cream. It's quite large. It fits in the palm of your hands very comfortably. My problem is that when I'm wearing small bags like this one, this takes up almost a third of the bag width-wise. You have other things in here, it's gonna eat up a lot of space. If I have a very big bag, then I don't mind, but the size is a hindrance, and I did wish they could find a way to make this smaller or just a little bit more streamlined so it's easy to store in your purses without it taking over all the space. Second of all, I don't know if it's because I'm towards the end of the life of this specific hand cream, but I'm finding it actually really hard to squeeze out right now. Like, I have to apply a lot of pressure, and that's just not very, I guess, like functional for people who may have issues with mobility and their hands. Sorry, I'm applying it now because I'm noticing that my hands are very dry. So it takes a lot of effort and a lot of strength to squeeze it out. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm at the end of the life of this hand cream and it's going to finish up soon, or if all of them are like that. Once I finish this one and I get a new one, I'm gonna be able to compare and see if it truly is that hard to squish out every single time, but I just didn't really like that. Otherwise, this hand cream is phenomenal. It literally is like the queen of hand creams when it comes to them for me. I have not found any other one that I like as much as this. I found other ones that are much more hydrating and moisturizing, but then they lack the ability to absorb quickly, or they absorb quickly and they leave like a weird oily residue, or they just like smell too strong. This is the only one that checks off all the boxes, for me at least, overall the most, which is why I like this one the most. A little bit of makeup now. So I've been really loving the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. I know this is not new. This has been around for a long time, but oh my god, is this stuff phenomenal. When they say translucent, it literally leaves no color on your face. It just absorbs in the oils and leaves you looking very matte and soft. It has like a slight kind of like powdery finish, but it's not caking into your lines, and that's what I really liked. I was previously using a CoverGirl loose powder and that truly caked into all of my lines. You know what? I think when it comes to makeup, some of the times you do get what you pay for. This is significantly more expensive than the CoverGirl loose powder. I didn't mind that one, but at the end of the day, when I came home, I had like creases in my under eye, on the sides of my eye, particularly around the nose and around the mouth area here. I didn't love it. Ever since I started using this one, I've had zero issues. It keeps me matte for like majority of the day, and I never come home with creases in weird spots that I'm not supposed to. Huge fan of this one. I will 100% be repurchasing it. You've suckered me in, Laura Mercier. I understand why everybody loves you, and I get what the hype is behind this powder now. Not the sexiest product, but I've shared before in social that I have been sick for essentially almost 2.5 months now. One of our friends that's a doctor recommended we pick up HydraSense from Costco. These are expensive. They come in a pack of 2 for $24.99. So for $25, you're gonna get something that's gonna last you maybe about a week and a half to 2 weeks. But this is essentially a nasal rinse. Very sexy. You put it up one nose, you press it, and then you go to the other nose, and it helps kind of to break up all the mucus at the back of your sinuses and in your throat with the saline that's in this. I found that immediately after using this, my condition improved significantly. It took me almost like a week to recover when I was sick for 4 weeks already. So this stuff is like gold to me. I will always resort back to this anytime I have any sort of like weird congestion in my nose or throat now. It has helped so much. Oh, this is our last bottle. We bought 4, so we got 2 packs of them, and that's like $50 right there. But this is working faster than any Tylenol that I've purchased. This stuff truly works. The Tylenol just masks the symptoms, but I will always go back to this for sure. So highly recommend it if you guys also have post-nasal drip or some like weird congestion in your nose and you want to break it up faster. Just be careful not to go overboard with this, because you definitely can dry out your sinuses if you're using this too much, since there is salt in it. All right, moving on to hair. I've been obsessed with this crimper waver from Hairitage by Mindy. It works so well, and anytime you see me have wavy crimped hair on here, it's because I've been using this so far. So I've used one of those triple barrel mermaid wavers, and you know what? They're great. They're just so freaking heavy. Like, I don't know how people who use it every single day have the ability to use that, or you guys have like crazy strong wrists, because at the end of doing one side, my hand feels like it's gonna fall apart. Those things are so big and heavy, it's too much. This is a good size. I can deal with it. There is a slight learning curve with this though, but after like maybe 3 to 4 tries of doing your hair, you kind of get the hang of it and you understand the technique you need to have. I did a TikTok video showing how I do this to my hair and to get the perfect wave, so I'll link it down below if you guys do want to see that. But this is so easy to use. I can do my whole head in like 10-15 minutes max, and it looks great. So huge fan of this one. I would recommend it if you want to get that like wavy hair look that everybody's been doing lately. I also find that waving my hair increases the longevity in between washes, so I don't have to wash my hair as frequently as opposed to curling my hair. That just brings out the oiliness of my hair, whereas this kind of like hides it for some reason. It's so weird. All right, next up, this tripod, the viral tripod that everybody was obsessed with on TikTok. I held off from buying this for the longest time because anytime I brought my phone out, I was always like, I can just stand it up on somewhere. No big deal. Yes, it's a big deal because then you have to find places to stand it up, and there's not a lot of places out in the wild for you to put your phone. And it's not small. I'm obviously not going to fit this into a bag of this caliber, but I can throw this into my tote, and it's small enough for me to pack into a backpack if I'm traveling somewhere, and it's lightweight that I don't need to worry about it weighing me down. So I just bring this with me when I'm going out. Sometimes I throw it in the car or in my purse, and this thing is so easy to use. You just like press it, and it goes out quite tall. I've been filming like all my TikToks and most of my outfit videos with this thing. I don't even know if I can show you how tall this is, but it has been such a lifesaver. You can use the Bluetooth to trigger and shoot your videos on and off, so you don't have to like run back and forth between your phone, especially if you're shooting from far away. It's so handy. Probably one of the best $40 I've ever spent on a piece of gear, and I love it. It's not expensive and it works and it does exactly what I need it to. So I will link it down below if you guys are also interested. So many people have recommended this to me and it took me this long to get into it, but I'm a huge fan of it. My Gamma belt from Hermes. If you guys watched my previous video, then you will have seen that it took me a while to track this down because I could not find the gold buckle anywhere in North America. I finally found it when we were in Florence and I picked it up. I actually use this belt so much. I feel like it just adds any sort of touch of class to an outfit. I don't know, it's like an accessory. It's like wearing jewelry but on a different part of your body. I originally wanted this in the 13mm size. I ended up going with a thicker one. I don't know if it says on here. No, it doesn't really say on here exactly what the thickness is, but this is a one step up from the 13mm. I thought that that would be thin enough for me, but when I tried it on, it was way too thin. It looked like a string around my stomach and I was like, that's not the look. So I went a step up and I got this one. I originally didn't want the black and the Etoupe. I wanted the gold and Nata, but I actually use this a lot. I wear a lot of black, especially in the wintertime. And surprisingly, when I looked at my clothes, like this matches this almost perfectly right now. The Etoupe goes so well with my outfits because I wear a lot of like cool toned beige clothing, surprisingly. So this one actually works out really well. I can take it on and off, flip it to the other side if I need to, if I'm wearing an outfit that requires me to wear more of like a brown tone or something a little bit lighter and black is too dark for it. So I've been using this so much between like casual outfits, dressy outfits, as something that sits at my waist or at my hips. So big fan of this. It also doesn't glaringly yell out Hermes when you look at it. You only would know what brand it is if you recognize the belt. If you're looking for something a little bit less ostentatious and more like low-key under the radar, I would definitely recommend the Gamma belt. This is wonderful. My next step is to get the belt strap in the gold and Nata so I can interchange with this one, but I'm a huge fan of this one. I've been loving it to death. This is one of the better buys for me from Hermes. Surprisingly, it's an accessory, so yeah, you don't always have to buy a bag to love stuff from there. All right, next up is my Aritizia Divinity romper. I have had this for almost 2 years now, I think. I got this a little bit before I got pregnant with Harrison. I wore it all through pregnancy. Highly recommend this as maternity clothing. It stretches so well, and now that I'm like back to almost my normal size, it still fits me really well. So it doesn't wreck it if you're wearing it with a bum, and it just like keeps you in when you're pregnant. But I love it because it's so easy to just throw on and throw a sweater over top. In the wintertime, you have a layer underneath, so you don't have to worry about putting on a t-shirt on before a sweater and get cold if you don't want to put on a t-shirt. I feel like this is like a lazy Vic outfit. I just throw this on with like a cardigan or a sweater and I'm good to go. I have 2 of them. I have this like shroomy color, which matched the Etoupe perfectly. So I feel like I should just rename this as Etoupe. And then I also have the black version. I also do want to get this in the shorts version for the summertime. I know the Divinity romper had its moment like last year and the year before, especially during COVID. Everybody was wearing this outfit and the uniform was with a button down. I think it's effortless. It is a great outfit to wear every single day. So comfortable, functional, and you don't really have to think about it. Huge fan of this. I stopped wearing it for a little while in the summer just because the length is too hot for me to wear, but now that we're back in winter, I wear it a lot when I'm lazy and I want to look cute going out, but I don't want to just wear leggings all the time. Shout out to Aritizia, you guys have made a phenomenal jumper. I would 100% recommend this one and buy more of them. Okay, couple other things. My Goyard St. Louis, I actually am loving this bag a lot more than I thought I would. I bought this in Milan when I was there during our honeymoon last year, and I have the GM size. I recently did a video comparing this to my Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I will link it down below and in the card above if you guys want to check it out. I like this way more than my Neverfull. It's significantly flimsier. Like you can slouch and like fold this bag over, and that's a lot of criticism that this bag receives, is that there's no structure to it. But because there's no structure to it, I think that it makes it much more pliable and easy to wear. Like it's comfortable on your body. It doesn't feel too bulky when you're wearing it, whereas my Neverfull is just always so thick and stiff, and like it actually caused me physical pain in my shoulder when I was carrying it. I had someone comment on my TikTok saying,
"Why are you taking out on a bag that you hate when you're overstuffing it?"
I'm like, it's literally called a Neverfull with the intent and purpose of it never being full because you can fully fill it up with stuff. But if I'm only half filling it up with like a laptop and it's hurting my shoulders, there's something inherently wrong with the bag. This is a bag I would recommend over that one. Even like the monogram or the Damier Azur print over the Damier Ben print, is because it has a vachetta leather, which is way softer and it's more malleable over time. I've been using this bag a lot when I go out with Harrison, even when I go out by myself. If I'm spending the whole day out in Toronto and I just need to run errands and I need a bag that's big enough for me to put everything in, this is a phenomenal grab and go, throw everything into this bag. I actually would love to get this in the smaller size, the medium too, the MM, just because then I think I could use this as like a more everyday bag if I'm going out and about by myself. This is very big. I can fit anything that I want into this, and it's great when I'm with Harrison, but there are some times for sure I do feel like it's a little bit too big for every day. So I would be more than inclined to get a second one in like the medium size, maybe in that green color, which I think is really cute. But this size is great for like a starting point. You'll never feel like you're filling it up enough. This is a phenomenal bag that I'm obsessed with right now. It served me really well. It's such a great functional piece. Up next are my mini Uggs. I didn't bring them in just because the soles are dirty and I didn't want to drag it on my bed and potentially get them dirty here. But you guys may have seen I got mini Uggs again. Here's a picture of the ones that I have. These are not like the ultra mini ones that are cut off at the back. I also prefer these over the regular height, mainly because I wear these shoes out when I'm running errands, like going to the grocery store or taking out the trash or walking Kobe. So I want shoes that are similar to sneakers, but that are gonna keep me warm. So something I can slip in and out of very quickly. The regular height Uggs do take a little bit of effort. You have to hold them and slide your foot in. You can't just like slip it in on your own, which is why I like the mini height. The ultra minis are just way too short and I find that my ankles get really cold and I don't get that thermal protection that I want from Uggs, which is why I was never really a fan of them when everybody loved them last year. I know everybody's loving the Tasman ones right now too, which are like slip-on mules with a platform and that kind of like printed ribbon around the top. I don't really like print. I like just the regular mini Uggs, so I got myself a new pair this year since my previous ones were like over 5 years old and they have a hole in them now. And it's really nice to have a fresh pair that just feels comfortable. The footbed inside is still nice and plushy. Nothing is like compressed yet, and like they're great. So I've been wearing the hell out of them and they're like some of my favorite winter shoes around besides my moon boots. But I get so much functional wear out of them that they had to make it onto this list. And the very last thing I had to share is my brand new Max Mara 101-801 coat. I am obsessed. This is the coat of my dreams, or at least in like this wool overcoat silhouette style. I love how large this is. I can literally wear any sweater underneath and it fits 100% of the time. It never gets too tight around like the elbow when it bunches up, or it doesn't ride up on the shoulder and armpit area and pull my sweaters up and I can't move around. It's so oversized too that it covers everything, and it's made out of like a beaver wool that is insanely warm and keeps me super snugly, even though given the fact that it's just like an overcoat. You can wear this with a t-shirt underneath, which I have, and you will start to sweat in this. I'm a big fan of this one and I love it. I cannot wait to get so many more years of wear out of this. I know some people literally keep this in their closets as an heirloom and they pass it down over decades. Even though we have a boy, and I feel like Peter and I have had the discussion where we're pretty much one and done. I can't wait to pass this on eventually. I don't know, his future partner down the road, or if there's somebody that loves us enough, I would be definitely more than okay with parting ways with it once it has had a long and happy life and has been used very well. Love this to death. I've only been wearing it a little bit, but I immediately know it's gonna be a classic in my closet. I showed this bag a lot, but I haven't mentioned it yet, and it has been a bag I've been using a lot recently. This is my new little Furla Metropolis mini. It's in like a patent kind of material. It's very shiny, super resistant to scratches, which I like. I've actually been using this bag a lot because I've been going to some sports games recently and they do not let you bring in big bags. So this fits a lot. It's also in this cute champagne color that works very great from day to night. It's not necessarily like a gold, so it doesn't scream like look at me, but it transforms beautifully into a date night bag if you're gonna go out in the town afterwards because of like all the metallic detailing. It has a fairly heavy chain. Like, I kid you not, this chain has some heft to it, and if you want to wear it as like just a shoulder bag, you definitely can if you double it up, or you can wear it as a crossbody if you want to just like pull it through all the way. I just like how versatile this bag is, and it can surprisingly fit a lot in here. It has like a little false lock here. I don't know how you would actually lock this, but you just pinch it and it opens up and it's like a giant hole. I can fit so much in here, especially if I'm going out on a day-to-day basis. Like, it fits my keys, wallet, lip balm, Metro Pass, headphones. I think those are like my main things every single day. Maybe like a mirror or something. That's all I really need for a day-to-day basis. Everything else I just put in my jacket pocket. Been loving this little Metropolis mini. I thought I would be able to use it very situationally, but I'm getting a lot of wear out of this, surprisingly, and I've been liking it a lot. Very last thing I'm gonna mention, not the cutest to show in here, but they are my cashmere socks. So they don't look like cashmere, but these ones are cashmere. I have another pair too. I just want to show you these ones because my other ones are currently in the wash. Cashmere socks are chef's kiss in the wintertime. Everybody needs to get themselves a pair. And yes, I know cashmere has a reputation for being expensive, but you can 100% find cashmere socks at a very affordable price. I'm not even joking when I tell you that I paid $4.99 for these. I got these on sale at Aritizia in the summertime when they were trying to sell off a lot of like fall and winter stock from the previous year, and that's the best time of the year to hunt them down if you can. They don't need to be from Aritizia. They can literally be from anywhere. I have a pair from there. I have a pair from Banana Republic, which were also really great. A little bit more expensive. I think they're like $20. All I'm saying is that you need to get yourself a pair of merino wool or cashmere socks because this will change your life. These are so thin, but I can wear them and stay insanely warm in the wintertime. I no longer want to wear cotton socks in the winter anymore. I want all my socks to be cashmere. So my goal is to elevate my sock wardrobe and add more cashmere ones to the mix. Ever since I started wearing them, my feet are so warm and cozy. I never have to worry about getting cold toes anymore. Big recommendation, if you're cold in the winter, get yourself a pair of cashmere socks. Look for sales. Aritizia has them at their outlets. You can look for places like Nordstrom Rack or the Bay when they have their annual sales. Pick yourself up a pair and I promise you will not regret the decision. Okay, so this was a very long, lengthy video, but I felt like I was able to share a lot of my current favorites. Let me know if you guys have any similar favorites as well, and if you guys kind of like this format, because I can kind of share what I'm currently using right now, and it's not just like new stuff that I'm buying all the time. It's like old things that I've repurchased or things that I've had from a while ago that I still really, really love, and I can bring them back out seasonally and enjoy them. I don't know, I just feel like this video really proves that there are some things that stand the test of time and are definitely worth a buy. I might just do this like seasonally every few months or so and kind of like update you guys on like what I'm currently loving for each season and let you know what's working for each one. But yeah, let me know if you like a series like this. I had a lot of fun kind of compiling everything that I like together and sharing it with you guys. I would love to know which ones are your favorites from my list as well. As always, if you guys want to see more of me, you know where to find me on Instagram and TikTok. Post more on those two platforms than I do usually on YouTube. So follow along there if you want to see what's going on with my daily life. Otherwise, I hope that you guys have an amazing day. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for coming back to my little corner on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Love you. Bye.